You know, bug bounty hunting. It's this crazy world where a single line of code can literally be worth thousands of dollars. But let's be real, in 2025, just being skillful isn't going to cut it. The field is packed, and everyone's fighting for the same bugs. So the big question is, how do you actually stand out? Well, that's what we're diving into today. We're going to break down the modern playbook for success, everything from picking the right targets to getting your hands on the tools that will give you a serious advantage.
So, here's what we've got on tap. We'll start with what I call the modern hunter's dilemma. Then we'll talk about finding your hunting ground, building your digital arsenal, and using automation to get an edge. After that, it's all about turning that bug into a bounty, and we'll wrap up by looking at what's next on the horizon.
All right, first up, the modern hunter's dilemma. You see, the whole world of bug bounties is built on this fundamental tension. On one side, you have companies. For them, it's an amazing way to find security holes. But man, it also brings a ton of anxiety. And then you have the hunters, us. It's a shot at real rewards, real recognition, but it can also be incredibly frustrating.
There's this quote from a seasoned hunter that just nails it. In bug bounty hunting, speed often matters as much as skill. And that right there is the core of the challenge today. It's not enough to be the best. You have to be the first. That pressure to find and report a bug before anyone else, it's huge, and it pretty much dictates your entire game plan.
So, let's break down this two-sided problem. You've got the companies, right? They're terrified of getting buried under a mountain of junk reports. They're also worried that a few big fines will just completely blow up their budget. On the flip side, you've got us, the hunters, and our biggest frustration, pouring hours into a beautiful, detailed report only to get crickets. Or worse, some defensive sysadmin who just doesn't want to listen. If you're going to succeed, you absolutely have to learn how to walk this tightrope. Okay, so knowing all that, where do you even begin? I'll tell you where you don't begin, by just grabbing the first tool you see and firing away. Nope. The single most critical decision you're going to make happens before you write a single line of code. It's choosing your hunting ground. Get this part right, and everything else falls into place. So how do you pick a winner? It's a simple three-step playbook. First, play to your strengths. If you live and breathe web apps, then start there. Build up some confidence, get some wins under your belt. Second, and this is a big one, stick to platform-managed programs. Think HackerOne or BugCrowd. Why? Because they have professional triage teams. It's a buffer between you and a company that might get defensive. And third, become an ambulance chaser for scope changes. Anytime a program adds a new domain or a new feature, that is a goldmine. It's fresh ground that hasn't been picked over by hundreds of other hunters yet.
And seriously, I can't stress that second point enough. This quote says it all. There is absolutely nothing that will kill your motivation faster than pouring your heart into a report only to have it dismissed. Dealing with a professional triage team who actually gets it, that's how you avoid burnout. It's how you make sure your hard work actually gets seen and valued.
Okay, you've got your strategy, you've picked your target. Now for the fun part. Let's build your digital arsenal. These are the tools that take you from planning to actually finding bugs. We're going to start with the basics, the command line classics, and then we'll work our way up to the real heavy artillery.
These are your bread and butter, your go-to tools for that first quick look. You've got FUF for just blasting a target to find hidden files and directories. It is incredibly fast. Derb is kind of the old school version, but still super effective. Of course, Nmap, the Swiss Army knife for scanning ports and services. You can't live without it. And SearchSploit, which is your offline copy of ExploitDB. Find a weird old service running? A quick search with SearchSploit will tell you if there's a known exploit for it. Master these.
All right, let's talk proxies. A lot of the pros I know actually use a two-proxy setup, and here's why. You've got Fiddler. Think of Fiddler as your observation deck. Its interface is super clean, and it's perfect for just watching traffic flow to understand how an app is supposed to work. But then when it's time to get your hands dirty, that's when you bring in Burp Suite Pro. This is where the real magic happens. This is where you're manipulating requests and repeater, you're fuzzing with intruder. So Fiddler is for watching, Burp is for doing. But listen, the real secret weapon of Burp Suite Pro, it's the extensions. These aren't just little add-ons, they're absolute game changers. I mean, take Authorize. This thing is a monster for finding IDORs, where you can access stuff you shouldn't be able to. You literally just feed it a low-level user's cookie, then browse the site as a high-level user, and it automatically flags every single endpoint that the low-level user could access. It's like having a little robot sidekick hunting for privilege escalation bugs for you. It's incredible. Okay, we've covered the big software.
the scanners, the proxies. But what if I told you the single most powerful, most underappreciated tool in any top bug hunter's kit isn't something you can just download? What do you think it is? It's their word lists. And this quote, "Successful hunters guard their word lists like dragons guard gold," is no exaggeration. Look, anybody can download seek lists, but the elite hunters, they spend years building their own private, custom word lists. This is their secret sauce. It's a collection of every weird endpoint, every unique parameter, every tricky payload that has ever worked for them. It's their single biggest competitive advantage.
So how do you build your own treasure chest? Yeah, you start with the public stuff like seek lists and payload all the things, for sure. But then you have to become obsessed. Every single time you find a cool endpoint, add it to your list. You see a company-specific naming pattern, add it. Find some weird parameter name, add it. That one weird payload that somehow bypasses their firewall, you better believe you're adding that. Your word list becomes a living, breathing diary of your own unique discoveries.
Okay, so this whole idea of custom lists leads us perfectly into the next chapter, automation. Because in 2025, having the skill and having the lists, it's just not enough. The only way to compete is to scale your unique knowledge across hundreds, even thousands of targets. And that, my friends, means you have to get serious about automation. And I love this analogy. Trying to get by with a bunch of separate, cobbled-together scripts today, it really is like insisting on using a flip phone in a smartphone world. Sure, it kind of works, but it's clunky, it's slow, and you're falling way behind. The game has changed, and the tools have too.
And this is the key difference right here. The old way was a total patchwork. You'd run a subdomain tool, then you'd have to pipe those results into a screenshot tool, then another script. It was a maintenance nightmare. The modern way? It's all about integrated frameworks, like Recon or Nuclei. These are like a mission control center. They handle the whole Recon chain for you, from start to finish, so you can spend your time actually looking for bugs, not debugging your own scripts.
And this quote about Nuclei really gets to the heart of it. This is where automation becomes your superpower. You find some brand new, unique vulnerability during your manual testing, right? With Nuclei, you can turn that finding into a simple template. And now you can automatically scan all of your targets for that exact same issue, forever. You're literally cloning your own brain and your best ideas and setting them loose on the internet.
Okay, you found the bug. Awesome. But you're not done. Not even close. Finding the vulnerability is only half the battle. If you can't write a report that makes the company understand the risk, you're not going to get paid what you deserve. This part, the art of the report, is just as crucial as the hack itself.
And this right here is the golden rule. It feels wrong, but trust me. Your first impulse when you find a bug is to rush to report it before someone else does. Don't. The real pros, they take a deep breath, they step back, and they ask one simple question. Can I chain this with anything else? That little info leak that might be worth $100, maybe it gives you a key you can use with another bug to get a full account takeover. That's how you turn a small find into a massive payday.
So, what does a killer report look like? It's a simple formula. 1. A title that screams, "This is important." State the bug and the impact right up front. 2. An executive summary. Write this for a manager who doesn't know code. Explain the business risk. 3. Foolproof reproduction steps. I mean, so simple a new intern could follow them, complete with screenshots or a video. And 4, this is the most important part. Show, don't just tell them the impact. Don't just say, "I can access user data." Write a quick proof of concept script that actually dumps the first 10 records. That gets their attention.
All right, we've gone through the whole playbook: strategy, tools, automation, and reporting. So as we start to wrap this up, let's just zoom out a bit and look at what's coming next in this crazy, fast-moving world.
You know, if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. The tools will change. The hot new fuzzer this year will be old news next year. But the fundamentals, the persistence, the constant drive to learn, and most importantly, the strategic thinking, those things are timeless. That's what separates the good from the great. So the question you should be asking yourself isn't, what tool do I need to learn? It's, what's my edge? Is it going to be your insanely curated word list, your custom Nuclei templates that no one else has? Maybe it's your deep knowledge of one specific technology. The tools will keep changing. Your strategy, your edge, that's what's going to last. So what's yours?